Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where we are continuing today another video on working with powdered milk and making cheese. Only today we're going to be working with whey, the result of some of our other efforts in using powdered milk to make cheese. And the big question is there more cheese in this whey? I have collected the whey from everything that we have done so far, and I have about a gallon of whey, and we are going to see whether or not we can get more cheese out of that whey. Whey is very high in protein, and maybe we can turn some of that protein into additional cheese. The specific cheese we're going after today is ricotta. Now, we already have ricotta over here under the curds. And as I have been reading about making ricotta from whey, which is the usual way that it is made, a couple of things have me a little bit concerned today, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that this is going to work. First of all, one of the things that was in some of the literature was that the whey should be from cultured cheese. Cultured, if you remember, is when we introduce live bacteria into a milk mixture. And then the live bacteria are what produces the thickness and the tang, the taste. Over here on the curd side is where we introduce acid, such as lemon juice or vinegar, into the milk solution. And that is what produces the curd, or ultimately the cheese. And so far we have made both cream cheese and ricotta using the curd method. We have made cream cheese, yogurt, and Greek yogurt with the cultured method over here. The whey is a mixture of both. And the other thing that it says is that the whey should be fresh. Well, I haven't left it out on the countertop, but it has been about 2 weeks worth of my collecting whey, and it's been in the refrigerator. So whether or not it's too old, whether or not the fact that most of it comes from the curd side rather than the cultured side remains to be seen. What we are going to do is put this almost a gallon of whey into my jam pan and heat it to between 180 and 190. Just the heat alone should produce some curds, but then we are also going to add a little bit of vinegar. In some cases, what they say is that you can add some whole milk to increase the probability of getting it. But because we are practicing for a time when we might not have the availability of whole milk, we're just going to stick exactly with what we have to see what we can get from what we already have. So here we go. In goes the whey. And I just turned the flame on, get it up to about 180, 190. At that point, unless there's some action that occurs between now and then, we'll be back. We have about between 178 and 181. I'm getting nervous. Some of the other videos that I watched, the whey was already forming curds just because of the heat, and this one has not. So we're going to go ahead and add, I have 1/4 cup of vinegar here. This is just white vinegar, and I'm going to add it just a little at a time. Okay, that's the last of it. So I'm going to turn it off, and we're just going to let it sit here for about 20 minutes to see if we're going to get some curd formation. Well, we have had a fail. Take a look at this. It's been sitting actually for more than 20 minutes, and there's nothing here, nothing at all. Now, if I stir this up, you might be able to see that there are some little flecks in there, but they have not congealed into any kind of curds at all. And so, let's talk about this for just a second. When I realized it was going to be a failure, I tried some other things to try to rescue it. I added a little bit more acid. This time I added some lemon juice, about another 1/4 cup, nothing. And I even added probably 1/4 cup of milk to see if that would do anything, and nothing. So this is a fail, and it may be because I waited too long. It wasn't fresh enough, even though I put it right in the refrigerator. or it may be because the majority of the whey was from this side, which means it was already acidified to some degree. It was not the cultured side. Here is what the plan is. I don't give up easily, and so the very next time I make some cheese, even though the instructions say it's best if you use 1 to 2 gallons of whey to do this, I don't know that I will ever have that much whey because I am making just small batches. Because I'm still in my learning curve and because everything doesn't always work out the way as planned, I don't want to waste a lot of our powdered milk on things that are going to fail. So I am going to try a small batch of ricotta next time from both this side, and then I fully plan to make some cream cheese, full-fat cream cheese. I've seen a wonderful demonstration from a woman in Canada who makes it all the time, and I bought the ingredients that she uses to culture her cream cheese, and that should give us quite a bit of whey on the culture side that we can also try. I'm going to keep trying. We'll get it nailed down, and we will add to this video when I have some successes to show you. Until then, stand by, and we'll be back soon. Good morning, and we are going to do trial number 2 today. And I have done a lot more research, and so I think I have found the solution. I finally found a website that did a much better job of explaining things that the other resources that I had found neglected to say. And the reason I think this may work today is because it explains why my previous attempts have failed. And so come to find out, there are 2 kinds of whey. Well, duh. There is the whey that is produced when making real cheese like cheddar and Havarti and other ones like that, where they use a cooler temperature. And that whey that comes from cool temperatures is called sweet whey. On the other side is the whey that is produced when we make yogurt to Greek yogurt. And when we drain the whey from the yogurt to make the Greek yogurt, that's what this is. This is very fresh. It just drained out of my Greek yogurt this morning. I made a double batch and I wanted plenty of whey. This is called acidic whey, because it comes from the process of yogurt. Now, acidic whey hardly has any protein left in it. Well, that explains a whole lot. That explains why we weren't getting any curds. The sweet whey does have a lot of protein left in it. And with that one, you can just cook that whey again, bring it up to temperature, add a little bit of acid, and you can make your ricotta cheese. With acidic whey, you have to add more milk, but no acid, no cultures. You just add the whey to the milk. I am using today a ½ gallon of whole milk, and you can use 2% or whole milk. Now, this kind of flies in the face of what we're trying to accomplish here, because if we have to do things that are off-grid, and no availability of things to purchase in stores, then we're not going to have the availability to buy a ½ gallon of milk. But I don't have full-fat powdered milk. If you have full-fat powdered milk, this will work as well as this fresh whole milk. Now, to this milk, all I have to do is add 2 cups of this acidic whey that came from draining my yogurt this morning. So there's our 2 cups right there. And we pour it in and stir it around. And then we're going to turn it on. Now we're going to heat this mixture to 180 degrees, and that should force the curds to separate from the whey just by the addition of this acidic whey. So we will see. We will come back when it's just about up to temperature, and then we'll see what happens. So keep your fingers crossed. While we are waiting, I just thought you might like to see what's going on in our backyard. We are actually videoing this on the day after Thanksgiving, and this is our first snowfall of the year. So I love it when it snows. It's so beautiful. This is getting close to 180. It's about 170. Oh, there it said 180 right there, but that was only in one little spot. Okay, I think it's there. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move it over to here, and now we're just going to let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, and it is supposed to curdle. So I'm seeing on my thermometer stem some little tiny curds, so that is a good sign. So we're just going to let it sit, and we will be back. I think we have success. Take a look. So I haven't touched it. And so it has been sitting for about 12 minutes. And so the directions say to scoop out the curds carefully with a slotted spoon and put them into a... Oh, look at this. Put them into a fabric-lined strainer, which we've got. These curds are very tiny. We still have a lot of, it's not all the way whey yet. So I kind of got that from the bottom. The directions explicitly say do not pour the whole solution into a cheesecloth, so we're not going to do that. But we've still got a lot of milk in there, which means there's a lot more protein. I think I've got most of it, so I'm going to try an experiment. It looked to me that this was going to be the case, so I'm going to add another ½ cup of whey and just see if we can get more clabbering. And we may not. I have no idea. So let's look at this for a minute. Oh, this is beautiful. And it says to let it drain until the desired amount of dryness is achieved. So we've got ourselves some lovely ricotta. This is much softer than the ricotta that we got over here. All right. I see more separation with the curds and the whey. Let's see if we're actually getting any curds. Oh yes, look at that. I'm so glad we did that. Woohoo! My gosh, we're getting lots more, almost the same amount more. And the liquid is now the telltale yellowish sign of whey, which means we've got a lot of the protein, most of the protein.
That's more than the first time around.
Yeah, it is more. Oh, I'm so glad we did that. But I didn't want to mess up anything, so I wanted to follow the recipe exactly. At least this person gave me information on the different types of whey, which is something that I had not known. This is wonderful. Look at this ricotta. And we'll salt this just a little bit. I think probably we've gotten about all we're going to get. I don't need to add any more of the whey. So this slotted spoon is fabulous for these cheese making efforts that we're having. So I want to taste this, just a tiny taste of this ricotta. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's wonderful. Honey, I think we'll have lasagna tonight.
Sounds okay to me.
Oh, this is fantastic. Look how much we got. Woo! I'm going to let this drain for a little while, and then we'll come back and show you the finished product. I'm so excited. And I'm going to add yogurt whey ricotta to our list here. Oh, and it's so much better than this one. This one was quite dry. Before I used it, I would add probably some cream, maybe some sour cream to it. But this, I won't have to at all, because we'll just let it sit there until it gets to the consistency we want. And then I'll add a little bit of salt and it will be ready to go. I'm very excited about this. So we'll be back when this is drained. Look at all the whey that we've got draining there.
It's out of focus. There we go. It's in focus now.
All right, we'll be back. All right, here it is. I squeezed a lot of the whey out of it. I want it very soft, and I've sprinkled some salt on and mashed it in. Oh my word, we have at least 2 cups here. Maybe a little bit more. It could almost pass as cottage cheese as well. Okay, I'm going to taste our finished product. Oh my goodness. This is phenomenal. It absolutely is phenomenal. This is far better than the last ricotta I bought at the store. I'm thrilled to be able to know how to do this now. And if I can ever find some whole fat powdered milk, I will try it with powdered milk whole fat as well. But for right now, all I had was just the regular grocery store. You don't use ultra pasteurized, just regular milk, and either 2% or full fat. And I always buy full fat. So this is a resounding success. I'm thrilled with it. So thank you for joining us on our cheese making adventure using powdered milk as the foundation. And we have more to come. So see you soon with another video.